Hi there, my English students. Greetings from the Mr. English Teacher channel, where you can study, develop, and enhance your English in the most straightforward and pleasurable manner. Having you here today makes me very happy. I want to thank you for listening to this podcast, whether you are cooking, walking, driving, or just lounging. I am thrilled to support you on your English learning journey, and it means a lot to me. In this episode, we will discuss understanding native speakers, a topic that many English language learners find difficult. I am aware that it can be difficult, particularly when native speakers speak incoherently, speak too quickly, or use slang. Why is it so difficult for me to comprehend English people, you may be wondering. Or how can I follow their discussions? You are not alone, my friend, so do not worry. This sentiment is shared by many students. The good news is that you can definitely get better at understanding native speakers, and I will walk you through it step by step in today's episode. We will go over everything in detail, and I will give you some insightful advice that will help you better understand native speakers and boost your confidence in your ability to listen in English. Let us get started. Let us start by discussing why it can be challenging to understand native speakers. You may believe that simply understanding the grammar or vocabulary is sufficient, but it is not the complete picture. Due to factors including speed, accents, slang, and connected speech, it can be difficult to understand spoken English, particularly when it comes from native speakers. If those words seem unclear to you at the moment, do not panic. We will discuss each one of them. Why is it that native speakers are so difficult to understand? Have you ever been totally bewildered in a conversation with someone who speaks English as their first language? The remainder appears to be a haze, but you may have heard a few phrases here and there. For English language learners, this is a fairly typical experience. And there are several reasons why it occurs. First of all, native speakers frequently talk fast and occasionally mispronounce things. It can be challenging to understand them if they use contractions like I am instead of I am, blend words together, or drop sounds. It sounds different from what you may have studied in textbooks or during courses. For instance, when native speakers say going to instead of going to or want to instead of want to. Second, understanding various English speakers may be more difficult due to accents and dialects. Every region has its own dialect of English, which is spoken all over the world. Every accent, whether American, British, Australian, or another, has its own distinct rhythm, sounds, and pronunciation. Even when they are speaking English, listening to someone with an accent that is distinct from your own might make it seem like they are speaking a different language. The fact that native speakers frequently employ colloquialisms and informal language is another factor that makes comprehension difficult. Although slang terms and expressions are frequently used in casual conversations, they are rarely covered in conventional English schools. When someone asks what is up, for instance, they are not requesting your thoughts on the current weather. All they are saying is hello or how are you? To stay up with native speakers, you must be able to understand these colloquial idioms. Finally, there is a concept known as connected speech. This occurs when words are sounded so tightly together that it becomes difficult to tell them apart. When a native speaker says, I am going to go, for example, the words are linked together and may sound like I am going to go rather than I am going to go. If you are unfamiliar with this, listening to rapid-fire speech may be difficult. Do not worry, though, these are all typical. You can better comprehend native speakers with a little practice because they do not always talk flawlessly. Although it takes time, it is entirely feasible. Additionally, we will discuss some useful strategies and tactics to help you get better in today's session. First, pay attention to actual talks. Listening to actual conversations is one of the finest methods to improve your comprehension of native speakers. This entails hearing real speech, not just recordings of sluggish or pre-written dialogue. Why? Because the speech of native speakers differs from that of textbook recordings. They utilize slang, speak rapidly, and combine words in ways that may be unfamiliar to you. So how are you able to do this? Start by watching English language YouTube videos or podcasts. Pick subjects that pique your interest, whether it be cooking or sports. You will become more proficient at understanding native speakers' speech patterns the more you listen to real conversations. Here's a hint. Do not spend too much time trying to comprehend every word. Instead, make an effort to comprehend the conversation's overall meaning. Getting acclimated to the cadence and tempo of genuine speech is the aim. It is acceptable if you do not understand a word. Simply keep listening and make an effort to get the key topic. Additionally, do not be scared to go back and listen once more. Needing to hear anything more than once is rather common. You will eventually start to understand more as your brain adjusts to the patterns and sounds of spoken English. The second tip is to listen for accents. As previously stated, there are numerous varieties of English accents, and each one has a distinct rhythm and pronunciation. Londoners' speech sounds different from that of folks in Sydney or New York. It is crucial to practice with a particular accent if you are having trouble understanding it. Try to concentrate harder on listening to that accent if you know you will be interacting with people from a specific area, such as the US or the UK. For instance, you may listen to podcasts featuring local speakers or watch TV series or films with characters from that location. Understanding an accent will get easier the more you are exposed to it. Additionally, keep in mind that you should not give up if you do not immediately understand everything. It takes time, and it will feel more natural the more you practice. Tip 3. Pay attention to the important words. Although native speakers frequently speak quickly, it is okay if you occasionally miss a few words. Concentrating on a sentence's main words is essential to comprehension. Small words like is, are, or the are frequently omitted by native speakers, or they may be shortened in informal speech. Although these little words are crucial for grammar, they do not necessarily have an impact on the main idea of the sentence. Try to concentrate on the important words that convey the meaning rather than worrying about knowing every word. These are typically verbs, action words, adjectives, description words, nouns, and names of objects or persons. Saying, I am going to the store to buy some groceries, for instance. Just concentrate on the store, purchase, and groceries. You do not need to comprehend anything else. You will understand the primary notion better that way. By listening to a conversation and attempting to identify the most crucial words, you can practice this. After then, attempt to sum up the discussion in your own words. This method will help you better comprehend native speakers, particularly when they speak quickly or use words you are not familiar with. Use subtitles as the fourth tip. Use subtitles when watching YouTube videos, TV series, or movies to better comprehend what is being said. Because they let you see the words as you hear them, subtitles are particularly useful for helping you match written material with spoken words. This is an excellent method to enhance your reading and listening comprehension. Here's a useful tactic. If you require additional assistance, begin with subtitles in your mother tongue. Change to English subtitles once you are at ease. This will help you become accustomed to how the words are pronounced and will enable you to see the precise phrases being uttered in English. You can eventually push yourself to watch with no subtitles at all. With no outside distractions, you will be better able to listen and comprehend what is being said. It is important to keep in mind that not every subtitle is flawless. They occasionally do not perfectly match what the speakers are saying, particularly when using informal or slang terminology. Do not panic, though, simply continue listening and utilize the subtitles as a reference rather than a crutch. You will learn more with time and no longer require them. Tip 5. Divide the speech into manageable sections. Because native speakers talk in lengthy phrases without pausing, listening to them might be overwhelming. In actuality, though, native speakers typically divide their speech into manageable parts. This is particularly true during talks, as speakers frequently pause in between concepts or sentences. Practice by segmenting the speech into manageable bits to enhance your comprehension. Try to pick out the natural pauses in sentences as you listen to them. Say something like, I went to the store and then I saw my friend and we decided to grab some coffee, for instance. There are noticeable pauses in between. For example, I went to the store, ran into my friend, and we decided to get coffee. You may find it easier to understand these organic pauses in speech. Listening to a brief discussion and pausing it after each segment will help you practice. Before going on to the following section, make an effort to comprehend what each one means. This will make it easier for you to comprehend rapid speech by breaking up the information into smaller chunks. 6. Shadowing. Let me now discuss a method known as shadowing. Shadowing is the practice of listening to a native speaker and instantly repeating what they say while attempting to mimic their pronunciation, rhythm, and pace as precisely as you can. You seem to be their shadow, mimicking everything they say. Because it trains your mouth and hearing, this method is very effective. You can learn more about the speech patterns of native speakers by hearing and repeating the phrases you hear. Additionally, you will get better at intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation, all of which are critical for comprehending spoken English. Select a brief audio or video clip that contains natural speech to begin shadowing. After hearing one or two sentences, stop and repeat what you heard. Take note of the speaker's tone and the way they emphasize particular words as you attempt to mimic their pronunciation of each word. In addition to making you sound more natural, this will make it simpler to understand speakers who use similar speech patterns. If at first you are unable to keep up, do not worry. Shadowing requires practice, and it is acceptable to make mistakes at first. Your comprehension of native speakers will get better with continued practice. 7. Get comfortable hearing people with various accents. Accents can make it more difficult to understand native speakers, as I have stated. However, that does not imply you should stay away from them. In actuality, your ability to comprehend a range of English speakers will improve the more you expose yourself to various accents. Begin by listening to a variety of regional or national accents. American, British, Australian, and even African English accents might be heard. Every accent has distinct word pronunciations and sounds. You may teach your brain to comprehend English in a number of ways by practicing with various accents. You could try seeing films or TV series from other nations if you are unsure of where to begin. You could, for instance, view a British film first, followed by an American and then an Australian one. Pay close attention to the characters' speech patterns and look for variations in pronunciation. You will eventually be able to comprehend folks from around the globe more easily. Tip 8. Reduce your speed. It does not hurt to slow down a little if you are having trouble keeping up with native speakers. You can change the audio speed of a lot of podcasts, YouTube videos, and audiobooks. As you get more at ease, progressively increase the speed at which you listen to the topic. You will be able to hear more words and better comprehend the speaker's rhythm and tone if you slow down. Once you are comfortable moving more slowly, push yourself by gradually picking up the pace. You will eventually be able to keep up with quicker native speakers thanks to this gradual approach. Tip 9. Never hesitate to seek explanation. Lastly, keep in mind that if you do not understand something, it is acceptable to ask for clarification. Generally speaking, native speakers are highly understanding and will gladly repeat what they stated or provide an alternative explanation. If you do not understand, do not feel ashamed. Everyone has experienced it. Simply remark, "Sorry, could you repeat that again?" If you missed something in a conversation. Or, "I did not fully comprehend." Is there another way you could describe it? The majority of people will be glad to assist you and will respect your efforts to get better at English. 10. Make use of context cues. Using context clues is one of the finest ways to comprehend native speakers. The context, the subject, and even the speaker's body language can all reveal a lot about what is being said while you are listening. Sometimes you can use the general meaning of the conversation to determine what a word or phrase means if you do not understand it. For instance, if someone says, "I am going to grab a bite," during a discussion about food, you can infer from the context that they are referring to eating even if you do not know exactly what bite means. When you do not understand every word in a discussion, context clues are the tiny indications that help you fill in the blanks. This method is not limited to food or everyday subjects. It may be used in many contexts. If someone says, "The car broke down and we had to call for a tow," for instance, while you are listening to a tale, you can probably assume that tow refers to assistance in moving the vehicle to a repair facility, even if you are unfamiliar with the word's precise definition. Your brain will gradually improve its ability to recognize these hints, which will greatly facilitate comprehension of native speakers. Tip 11. Show yourself patience. When trying to understand native speakers, it is crucial to practice self-compassion. Adapting to various speech patterns, accents, and speeds takes time, and language acquisition is a process. Feeling as though you are not grasping everything at once is quite normal. However, do not let it deter you. Keep in mind that fluency takes time to develop. Even if you are not aware of it, you are improving every time you listen to a native speaker. The secret is to continue pushing yourself and practice. The sounds and structures of spoken English will gradually become more familiar to your brain, making comprehension simpler. Take a moment to reflect on your progress if you are feeling frustrated. It is not about being flawless. It is about advancement. Enjoy the little things, like figuring out a sentence you could not grasp previously or recognizing a word that was not clear before. After a few of these encounters, you will be able to understand native speakers far more easily. Tip 12. Work on listening comprehension activities. Listening comprehension activities are an excellent option if you are searching for a methodical approach to enhance your listening abilities. Exercises where you listen to a tape and then respond to questions based on what you heard are available in a lot of language learning applications, websites, and books. These exercises are intended to assist you in practicing your comprehension of various spoken English contexts, such as lectures, news broadcasts, and conversations. They assist you in concentrating on listening for certain details, which can also be helpful in actual talks. There are numerous listening comprehension exercises available at varying degrees of difficulty, so begin with one that is appropriate for your present level of proficiency and progressively raise it as you get better. In addition to enhancing your comprehension of native speakers, these exercises will teach you how to pay attention to details, which is crucial for communication in everyday situations. Strategy 13. Expand your vocabulary. It will be easier to understand native speakers if you know more vocabulary. It might be challenging to follow fast-paced conversations if you only know basic vocabulary, particularly when native speakers utilize slang or idiomatic terms. Learning new words every day is one method to increase your vocabulary. List the terms you come across when reading, watching TV, or listening to podcasts, and then research their definitions. Make an effort to learn words that are frequently used in casual talks. You will eventually discover that you can identify more words and phrases used by native speakers. Acquiring knowledge of collocations, groups of words that frequently go together, is another efficient method to expand your vocabulary. For instance, study popular phrases like make a decision, make a mistake, or make an effort rather than just the word make. This will help you comprehend how words work together in everyday speech. Advice 14. Become familiar with colloquial language. In casual conversations, native speakers frequently utilize idiomatic terms that can be perplexing to non-native speakers. A phrase that has a meaning distinct from the literal meaning of its constituent words is called an idiom. For instance, just because it is pouring does not mean that animals are dropping out of the sky. It indicates a lot of rain. Idiomatic expressions are a significant component of spontaneous speech, even though they may initially seem challenging to grasp. Learn some of the most popular idioms first to become familiar with them. Listening to talks and focusing on expressions you do not understand will help you achieve this. Study them and try incorporating them into your own speech. You will discover that you become more adept at understanding native speakers and that you can identify idioms more readily with time. 15. Engage in active listening. active listening is a vital skill to have. Instead of merely passively hearing what is being said, active listening entails being totally involved and focused on the speaker. You will have a clearer understanding of the message when you actively listen by focusing on the speaker's tone, body language, and the conversation's context. By attempting to rephrase the speaker's words, you can engage in active listening. This technique, known as paraphrase, is a fantastic approach to assess your comprehension. You have understood the message if you can accurately repeat what you have heard. Avoiding interruptions is another aspect of active listening. Give them time to complete their thinking before answering. This will make it easier for you to comprehend the entire message and help you catch all the details. Tip 16. Participate in discussion forums. Participating in conversation groups is one of the finest ways to enhance your speaking and listening abilities. Practice having real-world interactions with other students or even native speakers by participating in conversation groups. Depending on where you reside, these groups can be found in person or online. You can practice your English with people from all around the world in online chat groups hosted by a number of apps, websites, and social media platforms. These groups are fantastic because they allow you to practice speaking in a casual, non-judgmental setting and hearing to people with various accents. Additionally, you will receive comments from others, which can help you get better at speaking and listening. Try to concentrate on actively listening as well as speaking while you are in conversation groups. Before you jump in, be sure you comprehend what other people are saying. This will enhance your comprehension of native speakers and help you get used to the pace of genuine discussions. Tip number 17. Pay attention to intonation and stress. In the English language, a sentence's intonation and stress can alter its meaning. While intonation refers to the rise and fall of the voice during speech, stress relates to which words or syllables are stressed in a sentence. These are significant components of spoken English that may make comprehension difficult. Saying, "I did not say you stole my book," for instance. The sentence's meaning can vary depending on which word you emphasize. Saying so raises the possibility that it was stolen by someone else. However, saying so indicates that you did not say those words. Try listening to native speakers and observing the words they emphasize in each phrase to gain a better understanding of stress and intonation. Take note of how their voice fluctuates in pitch. You can also work on mimicking the tone and stress of sentences by repeating them. This will enhance your ability to follow conversations and help you comprehend the natural cadence of spoken English. Tip 18. Relisten using the transcripts. Transcripts might occasionally be useful in helping you comprehend what native speakers are saying. A lot of YouTube videos, podcasts, and other audio services provide transcripts that display the exact words being said. These transcripts allow you to follow along as you listen. This is an excellent technique for practice. Start by listening to the audio or chat without the transcript. As much as you can, try to catch. Examine the transcript after listening to find out what you missed. After that, read the transcript and listen once more. This will facilitate future comprehension of spoken English by assisting you in forming the connection between the sounds you hear and the words you see. Try listening to the conversation again without the transcript once you are more at ease with it to see how much more you can comprehend. You will eventually discover that you can understand more by simply listening and rely less on the transcript. Advice 19. Recognize fillers. Filler words are frequently used in talks by native speakers. These are noises or words that are used to fill in pauses or allow the speaker time to reflect, but they do not really add anything. Words like and like are examples of common English fillers.